What's up, YouTube? Polo Sports Talking Entertainment here again with another one. Be sure to hit that like button, subscribe to the channel if you're not a member, and also be sure to hit the notification so that you're able to get each and every one of my videos, okay? Now, the NBA and the uh, the NBA PA, the Players Association, is now allowing teams to sign replacement players, and this is coming from the memo. Now, according to the memo, the NBA and NBA have agreed to allow teams to sign a replacement player for each roster that tests positive for the boogeyman. Now, the teams will be required to sign one replacement player if there are two confirmed positive boogeyman cases. Two players if there are three positive cases, and three players if there are four or more positive cases. There is a but, though. There is a big but. The teams will not be, quote, required to sign more replacement players than would be necessary for it to have 13 players who are healthy and able to play. Now, there will no longer be a cap on the number of games a player who has signed a two-way contract can play during the season. Now, before, two-way players could play a maximum of 50 games of the 82 regular game season. Now, the new rules take effect immediately and will continue through January the 19th. And at the at that time, the NBA will give teams further guidance uh, for what's going to happen for the remainder of the season. Now, on Sunday, as you know, the NBA postponed 5 games after a lot of players and a lot of staff members have tested positive for the boogeyman. Uh, the league has postponed. I think it was a total of seven games this season due to the boogeyman. Uh, and as you know, it was the notable names were like Giannis and KD and James Harden, just to name a few, and of course as of recently Trey Young, as well as a couple of other people. Um, you know, in the grand scheme of things, I mean, it might seem good to some people, but to me, yeah. What's up with it, TJ? I see you in the building. Make sure y'all go subscribe to TJ Sports Takes or TJ Boxing. He has several different names, but just go subscribe to the homie TJ. Now, to me, in the grand scheme of things, and in hindsight, it might seem, oh yeah, we have a solution, but still, all in all, people are still gonna see. My biggest thing is it's not really a worry, but it's just like more of a okay, we're gonna expect this to happen type of feel. This is my thing. People are gonna say, okay, well, such and such should have won the championship, or if we would have had this many players, or you know, X amount of players, or this player playing, then this probably would have happened, or you know, uh, a, a a championship won't be considered a real championship. They'll call it, what they're calling the Lakers, like, the bubble ring and all of that other stuff, or they'll say Milwaukee, should have an asterisk by them because of the injuries. And in that case, it was injuries. But that's why I'm in favor of just shutting the whole thing down because, okay, we want full products out on the floor, or at least, damn near the full roster if you can, because let's just face it, things do take place, things do happen. But at the same token, this is this is what modifications that they were talking about because they're doing everything. It's like they're doing everything on the fly. They're making plans on the fly. You know, and if this doesn't work, they're gonna have to do something because more and more cases tend to be happening, and it doesn't seem that every solution it'll work for a little bit, but then something else tends to happen. Then there's another mishap that happens. So you know, I will say this though, they're doing everything that they can to make you know the NBA not go away. They're doing everything they can not to make the NFL go away. They're doing everything that they can to keep people entertained. Now that I will give them credit about. But at the same token, it's like, okay, every time you turn around, or every time you flip on the TV, then somebody else is popping up. And I just think right now people are kind of exhausted with that. It's becoming more exhausted seeing more and more cases pop up and having to make all these adjustments and modifications than it is for, okay, let's just shut it down and take a pause. Now, a pause isn't. That's another thing that I want to say before I close real quick. A pause isn't going to make it any better though. And I think somebody had mentioned like pause for like a month yesterday. I can't remember who it was, but that's not going to make it. That's not going to solve the situation because when we went on a pause, guess what? It went all right for a little bit, but then you still had some cases popping up here and there. Not the record setting cases that you see now, but you still had people coming in, or safety protocol, all this other stuff. Even when you were in the bubble, now it did dwindle down a little bit, but then we thought it was getting back to normal life. But then next thing you know, you got another roller coaster that we're going through again. So it's like they're doing stuff on the fly. I mean, I commend them a little bit, but at the same token, there's just a lot of people that's just like, you know what, it's not going to make any difference. And myself personally, I don't want to walk around having to hear people say, okay, well, yeah, you have a bubble ring, or your championship isn't real, or y'all made it because of this, or you made it because of that. Me personally, I don't like hearing that, and I don't blame some of the Lakers fans for getting angry about that because they didn't have any control over what the NBA you know had decided. I mean, they might have had their input. Look, we know you said all about their bottom line. Yeah, well, yeah. I mean, it's the alien, Adam Silver, Adam the alien's bottom line, as well as Roger Sharecropper uh, Goodell. It's all about what they think. But the thing about it is that a lot of people feel the way that I feel. Now, let me say this though. Let me say this too. This is what I was gonna say. Everybody thinks that, oh yeah, well, LeBron, he had this power to do this and do that and do all this other stuff. He doesn't have as much power as what you might think. You know what I'm saying? It's only so much that he can do. So to put that type of thing and say, okay, yeah, well, LeBron wanted, everybody to come out there, which he probably did. He probably did want a ring and everything like that. But at the same token, you got to think about the CBA, and you also have to think about players that still wanted to get paid and also can't afford to really sit out games and stuff like that because they don't make LeBron's paycheck, you know? And so to me, It's unfair for us to see now. You can't say, okay, yeah, it's this person's fault or that person's fault. Oh yeah, he's trying to make it controlled to where this happens or that happens. Listen, there everybody is getting sick or getting hit with the protocols. You know what I'm saying? It's not like he selected. Oh yeah, well let me select DeMar DeRozan or let me select Trey Young or let me select Shake Milton or Andre Drummond or Giannis to get sick or whatever. Because guess what? He got it too. And but the thing about it is, yeah, he came back. Him and Russell Westbrook came back. But guess what? Another person got hit, including the damn coach. You know. So we have to really put that in the context and stop trying to point the finger and blame and all this other stuff, especially when this situation is all over the place and it's outside of sports too. I don't think a lot of people realize that. That's what I was talking to some people yesterday when I went out of town. You know, we can't sit here and blame this person, that person, or anything like that. Look, the reason why everybody doing all this finger pointing and trying to place blame on this and that, the jab and all this other stuff, it's because of fear. And a lot of people, whether you want to believe it or not, are very fearful of another shutdown. And look, I get it. I totally understand. People are very wary of a shutdown, especially when you talk about major corporations, and a lot of small businesses too. You know, a lot of small businesses. They don't want to have to go through that again, but it just might, and it did have an effect on the economy. People forget the president pushed for a bubble because he wanted to get back. What's up with it, R. Skinner? Well, listen, see, let me leave you with this, okay? Not because I'm getting ready. I'm gonna touch on politics in just a second. I'm not gonna dive too deep in that, but I'm gonna touch on that in just in another video. But while we're on that subject, think about it. They blamed, they sat there and they blamed Trump. And listen, I'm not uh for Trump. I wasn't no Trump supporter or any of that, right? Okay. But they blamed him for pretty much everything, right? And they were under the assumption because they were saying, well, yeah, look, we'll get his racist ass out of there and all this other stuff. They were saying this and saying that and stuff like that. And this is exactly what I said, R. Skinner, TJ, and everybody else is listening. I said this: if you get Biden in there, if you get Biden and Harris in there, it's not gonna, it's not gonna, it's not gonna make anything better. And listen, this is why I'm about to talk about this in the next one. This is a sneak peek. Why do you think? And listen, I'm not a fan of Charlemagne the God. You know what I'm saying? I can't stand his ass. You know what I'm saying? For a lot of reasons. But one thing you're not gonna do is sit there and you're not gonna be a buck dancer or be fake for your people, right? I'm sorry, TJ. Sorry, TJ. I'm sorry, TJ, man. I know he's from South Carolina, but when I talk to TJ, I that's South Carolina, not Charlemagne. In the beginning, you probably could have said that. You know what I'm saying? But when I talk to TJ or when I listen to somebody like Blind Theory or somebody like that, okay, yeah, that's South Carolina or maybe KG or somebody like that, but not Charlemagne anymore. I don't. It's like I don't even know who the hell you are. I don't even know what you rep. Okay, now You said Trump was that guy. Well, that's your opinion. That's your opinion. Look, I don't think any of them were the guy. You know what I'm saying? And that's why Charlemagne had asked Kamala Harris, who's the president, and he's on point with that. We have to wonder who's running the country. We have to run it, because really they're not. They're not running anything. I could tell you who's really running the world and who's the evil doer beyond all this stuff. You know what I'm saying? But that's I can't do that on YouTube. You know what I'm saying? So I'm gonna leave it at that, and you use your wild imagination, or do your own research, as many of you do. You know what I'm saying? I really don't like. Look, I love to exercise my brain. I love to dig deep into this shit. But right now, we're in a crisis right now. You know what I'm saying? And everybody's in panic mode. And the thing about it is that when we're the way that we're maneuvering, it doesn't seem it makes you look like, okay, well, damn, aren't y'all supposed to be leaders? But this is what I said. I said Biden wasn't going to be any better once he got into office. Biden and Kamala Harris, and I had my reasons for saying that, especially our vice president. Oh well, I I, I thought you were gonna be in support of a woman of color and da, 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 and all. Man, if that's the case, you think I'm gonna be in support, TJ, of fucking Tim Scott? You think I'm gonna be in support of fucking Larry Elder? You think I'm gonna be in support of Candace Owens? You think I'm gonna be in support, even though he's not a politician, but his buck dancing ass, saying shit, that don't need to be said? Roland Martin? Absolutely not. Like, and see, here's the thing. Okay, I'm gonna say one last thing, right? Somebody said something to me. I got into an argument the other day, and we were talking about George Floyd. Okay, and they said, okay, well, George Floyd, before he passed away, he was failing the community with what he was doing. Okay, dumbass. Okay, if he was failing the community so bad, then why won't you go ahead and put your knee on the neck of guys that are molesting kids? Why won't you go put your knee on the neck of guys that are going in and walking in the buildings and just shooting innocent people? Because the last time I checked, he didn't do that, right? Oh, but he's a failed leader, dog. He was trying his best to get his life together. If you didn't know that, he actually got into the trucking industry. You know what I'm saying? Because he was like, okay, yeah, I need to turn my life around. Hey, everybody struggles every now and then, but because you see the guy and he did a little porn, or you know what I'm saying, he might have had a checkered past or something like that. You want to automatically put him in the category. Dog, there's lots of CEO company guys that run businesses and stuff like that. You'll never even know it. They're having orgies. They're having swinger parties. They're snorting lines off of a stripper's booty. But you won't know that shit. You won't know that shit. Some of these guys like to be tied up and done wicked stuff to them and stuff like that. Some of these women that you see, let me stop, man. Look, all I'm gonna say is that you can't put nothing past anybody. So you can't sit here and you can't call anybody a failed leader. So you can't sit here and think that, okay, well, Joe Biden, he's gonna be the savior automatically, and then you put Trump in this. And look, when you say that, oh, you're a Trump supporter, you're a Trump supporter. No, I'm my damn supporter. Hey, look, I'd rather have TJ in the office before any motherfucking body. You know why? Oh, TJ was in the military. I want somebody that has been on the front line. I want somebody that has been active duty, leading the country, that knows how to make decisions. You know what I'm saying? And on top of that, he's a black he's a black leader. Listen, a lot of people, they criticize us and they think that, oh yeah, well, black African Americans aren't good leaders, or African American women aren't good leaders. Huh? Says who? Says who? Because last time I checked, how many things did we invented? Half of the stuff that you're doing right now, we invented. Man, you better, man, hashtag Gary Morgan. Man, these cars would be running into each other. Polo Sports Talking ENT, man. Like this video, share it, subscribe, hit them notifications. Until then, man, I'm going to get at y'all later, man.